Peter kind of do that himself in overtime, or was that a concerted effort just to get him the ball almost every possession?
All we were trying to do was move the ball and take what was there. And he's obviously a guy who wants the ball, and I think we want to get him the ball. But we never really want to just lock into one guy. We want to be able to establish inside, outside, other people, especially when you're in the double bonus. But he was really good. He was really strong. He mixed it. He posted a little bit. He came up top. He was on the wing. He gave it up a few times. He was really, really special tonight.
I mean, he's a great free throw shooter anyway, but 22 of 23 is...
I was surprised he missed the one, to be honest with you, because he usually just, not only does he make them, he usually doesn't hit anything but the net.
How bad did you guys need this game tonight?
I don't really look at it that way. You're playing Indiana, a program that I have tremendous respect for, and a coach that I have tremendous respect for. Both teams fought. We had some tough losses recently, so have they. I wanted our guys to compete. I wanted them to play well. I wanted them to be connected. And obviously we were not at the start of the game. We were sideways. And the second group came in and picked us up. First group came back in and were really good. So I'm just really proud of how they sort of stuck together. And then we got so much productivity out of so many different people. I thought Kriener was spectacular tonight, and so was Pemson, off the bench. And I thought Christian Williams was really good. I'm so happy for that kid.
Fran, you guys kind of mixed traps, press, different kinds of things. Was it going for steals? Was it going for tempo? Was it going just to wear IU down? What was your goal there with that?
It was, to try to create some turnovers, create some offense with our defense, get them out of rhythm a little bit. We played a lot of zone, because they sort of, at the beginning of the game we were man, they took it right through us. And so we went to the zone. The zone was good. And then they figured out the zone, and they were making threes, and they were moving the ball. They ran some good stuff against it. We tied it at 55, and they scored 4 straight possessions, scored 11 points. So that says a lot about them. It also says a lot about us and our ability to come back and regain the lead and so forth, and ultimately win the game. So, we're always going to try to disrupt rhythm. But anytime we're pressing, we're trying to get some steals and create some offense.
Fran, you had something akin to a couple hockey line changes there in the first 4 minutes. Was that, I got to find 5 guys that are ready to go tonight, or was it just to give a spark to the whole thing?
We needed some energy. We didn't have the necessary energy at the start of that game, and that's disappointing, quite frankly. To their credit, they were putting it on the deck and driving to the basket, moving the ball, and we didn't answer the bell. So that next group came in and played with great energy and cohesion, and got the crowd involved. And then the other guys came in and picked us up after that.
Jock's a 92% free throw shooter. You just don't see that from somebody who shoots as many as he does. From where has that come? How has he become that proficient?
Mike, he has been, the first time I saw him play as a freshman in high school, he's always had an unbelievable stroke. He has been a great shooter. Again, I can't speak to anything before that, but ever since I've known him, he's a shot maker. His form is textbook. He's got great confidence in it, but it comes off his hand so nicely, and he shoots it the same way every time. And everything that you've ever heard a shooting coach talk about is follow through, where he puts his hands, his elbow. It's perfection.
Were you pretty pleased with what you got at the end of regulation? Tyler had it right there at the basket.
Yeah, we ran a different play, and they got up into Jordan, and he realized the timing of that play was not what it needed to be. And the thing you have to do is if they're really taking something, you just got to go, which is the mistake he made in the possession before when he turned it over. He's trying to run the play that we called, but when they're up into it, you got to go by them, especially when you're in the double bonus. So he went by him, threw the ball to Tyler. Tyler got it to the front of the rim. So anytime we get that shot, we're going to be happy. Obviously, we hope it went in, but you just don't want to not get a shot at all.
I'm impressed for you with the resiliency your guys showed tonight, being down 13 in the first half and 8 in the second half, and working it back each time.
I was incredibly impressed, and I told them so after the game, how proud I was of them. And the beautiful thing was it was so many different people. But like I said, there were a number of times where we could have packed it in, and we never did. And that says a lot about our guys.
It's hard to win close games in this league, and for a young team to get one of these. How important
Yeah, I mean,
is that?
this is the fourth time we've won 2 overtime games. We lost 2 double overtime games. So it tells you that, we're fighting and we're in there, and sometimes we're making mistakes, and, but a lot of times we're doing really good things. But you kind of got to go through that and experience it, because every one of those is different. Are they driving it? Are they going inside? What defense are they in? Are they trapping ball screens? Are they picking this up full court? We running motion, are we running sets? And what kind of action is working for us? Can we still run? Can we still get something out of our press? I mean, those are decisions we're constantly making on the bench.
Fran, what can you say about Indiana? They've been devastated by injuries. They've lost a lot of close games. It seems this season's come unraveled since the start.
Well, I think, you look at Indiana, I think the hard thing is there was such great expectation. I happen to be a big Colin Hartman fan. And I think he would make a big difference on this team. They haven't had him all year. They still beat Kansas, North Carolina, when they still had OG, who's a lottery pick. Blackman was out for a while. He's your best shooter, so I think Tom's done a great job keeping them together, keeping them fighting. It's got to be difficult to battle the way they battled and then lose some close games the way they have. They also won a couple of them, and the 2 Penn State games were games that they pulled out. So I think, from that standpoint, I've been impressed with that coaching staff is still coaching them up. Those kids are still fighting. They're sharing the ball. I don't see any selfishness. I don't see any quit. We had to really play well and really had to fight today to win this game.
You were down 8 with less than 5 minutes to go, and you were on a series there where I think 9 straight possessions you were able to score points. I mean, how good was your offense in the stretch when you needed?
Well, it was really good, and that's the interesting thing, because a lot of times when you're doing that, you're calling sets, and you're going to certain people. We just went straight motion and decided to move it and share it and screen and take what they give us. Drive them, we get to the free throw line, throw it inside, hit a jumper. And that's the beauty of the motion offense. Sometimes, you have the wrong guy shooting the ball at the wrong times if you have a couple guys you want to go to, but I'm very comfortable with this team and their ability to understand who should be shooting the ball. And I had a pretty good offensive team out there at that time.
You played Christian and Jordan together quite a bit tonight. What did you like from that alignment?
Take some of the ball handling pressures off of Jordan, and it also sets him up to be a little more of a scorer. I just thought Christian, his energy level, his defense, it was spectacular. From the opening tip, I mean, he was great in both halves. And the play he threw to Tyler Cook in transition was really something. And those, remember they went up 4 and he just pushed it down and went right through them and scored. I mean, those are the kinds of plays that he's capable of making, and he that's in him. And I said to him today, I said, I want you to attack. I want you to go right through them. When they come up, just and he did it. And the more he does that, I mean, I think you'll see him do a lot more things. There's a lot more in that tank.
Given the way the last 3 games ended and those double overtime losses like that you mentioned, does this game in a way exercise any demons for the guys?
We don't have any demons.
How do you take the energy from tonight and you carry it now 2 games on the road that are obviously against the top 2 teams in the league?
Well, what you do is, it's late, it's a hard-fought game. We let them enjoy it and rest a little bit and just go back to work. We understand who Maryland is. They beat us here. Not only one of the best teams in the league, they're one of the best teams in the country. They have tremendous personnel. great coach. So we have an opportunity to go on the road and play a great team and see if we can handle that environment. We were there last year. It's, as you know, a terrific environment, very intense. And another step, another opportunity to improve and get confidence.
I'm sorry, we'll take one more question.
You look at Kriener and his tenacity, especially going against Brian, who's a lottery type pick. I mean, that's got to be, he's been playing like that all year, but to do it against that player seems to be impressive.
The thing about him is, I mean, he's a competitor. He won't back down, and he was physical. The block shot down the stretch was huge. 3 blocks. He scored 2 buckets. He's not a mistake guy. The only mistakes he ever makes are he'll set an illegal screen. Well, he's trying to get his teammates open, so I'm not going to be too upset with him about that. So I'm really excited about him.
Okay, thank you, Coach.